Hey guys, welcome to the $1 Million Case Study Season 4. If you're not familiar with the $1 Million Case Study, this is where we build and scale a physical products business to $1 million in revenue. This is episode 2, and by the end of today's episode, you're gonna know exactly how to narrow down your product ideas to choose that one winner. I'm your host, Greg Mercer. I'm joined by my co-host, Rolando Galliano. Rolando, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Fantastic. Fill us all in what you've been doing this past week.
Yeah, since last week, I did exactly what you told me to do. I went into the product tracker tool, started tracking products that I found interesting and that met all the criteria that we outlined in the last episode.
Fantastic. I'm excited to look at those. But before I forget, if you guys would rather view this episode in written format instead of video, you can download the notes at junglescout.com/MDCS4-2. With that being said, Rolando, let's go ahead and dive in and see what kind of product ideas you came up with, and I'll start to give you some feedback on what makes a good product versus bad product.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Before we look at Rolando's product ideas, I'm going to give you guys 4 steps on how to narrow down your different product ideas to find the best. Step 1 of the process is removing any product ideas that fall under these categories. We want to remove anything with high competition or high seasonality, anything that's easily breakable like glass, any food, drinks, supplements, or topicals. I don't like anything that goes in the body or on the body. Any complex items like electronics or anything with lots of moving parts. Any items that are potentially high liability, like a kid's car seat or a life vest. Anything that's trendy or faddish. Fidget spinners are a good example of that. And lastly, we want to stay away from legal trouble. So this would be anything that is patented or supposed to be licensed, like a t-shirt or hat from your favorite sports teams. After we've narrowed down those product ideas using step 1, step 2 is to use the customer-driven innovation method, which means we're going to be reading the customer reviews on Amazon and figuring out what people don't like about these products. The best thing to do is to start with the reviews that are 1 or 2 stars and figure out what those upset customers didn't like. Step 3 is going to be listing out the customer complaints. A great place to do this is inside of the Jungle Scout web app's product tracker. There's actually a notes section for each product that you're tracking. If you're not using the product tracker, you can of course use an Excel sheet or an old-fashioned pen and paper. And now that you know what the customers want improved, step 4 is to make those innovations. Don't be intimidated. I'm sure what a lot of you guys are thinking right now is, wait a second, I'm not an engineer, I'm not an inventor, I can't do CAD drawings. And the truth is, you don't have to be able to do any of these things or have any experience in this area. Sometimes it is beneficial to hire a CAD drawer to make these electronic renderings for you. However, oftentimes you can just work directly with the factory to make these improvements. What happens is you tell them what you like to improve on, any ideas you have for making these improvements, and listen to see what they have to say about those. Oftentimes they'll say, well, we can't quite do that, but we could do this instead, which would get you the same outcome. And throughout an iterative, collaborative process, you can work with the factories to make these improvements without giving them an official set of drawings.
Great, thanks for the 4 steps. I'm really excited to show you my products, so let me go ahead and share my screen with you.
Sounds good, man, let's do it. Why don't you start by showing us some of the products that you've been tracking in your product tracker?
All right, so as you can see here, I'm in my product tracker tool, and I have several tabs that I've created, as well as some uncategorized products. But let's dive into the different tabs, starting with the walking stick. I like this one because it's a little weird. It's not something that the average seller is going to go after. So, I'm trying to think outside the box. So what do you think about this?
Sales look decent. I'm going to pull it up on Amazon real quickly and run the Jungle Scout Chrome extension. It looks like the sales are decent, but not great. I'd like to see a few more sales. If I were to add these up, I think it would be like under 2,000. The reviews, there's a few sellers with not many reviews. I see 3 sellers with under 50. However, the ones that do have a lot of reviews do have quite a few. And the ratings, most people are getting 4 stars, so some room for improvement, but not a ton of room for improvement. The other thing I kind of don't like about this idea is, earlier when I was giving you the criteria to look for, one of the items that I said was stay away from products that could potentially have a high liability. And to me, this one kind of fits under that category. category. I could see a senior citizen using this, sitting in it, kind of falling out, breaking their hip or something. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but I think we could find something a little bit better. What else do you have in there?
Let's go ahead and let's go into my second tab here. I have these umbrella bases. I think that this will be a little safer. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. I think people would have a little bit harder time getting hurt with an umbrella base. But when we look through these, there's tons of sales. I'm saying 48, 75, 180 a day, which is a ton of sales. Let me pull it up on Amazon real quick and pull up the Chrome extension. What I'm seeing here again is a ton of sales. Collectively, we're probably talking about like 20,000 units per month, which is a ton of demand. If I look at the number of reviews, it is fairly competitive though. One person has 54 reviews, but a lot of people have hundreds. This guy has almost 2,500. There probably is room for improvement here. There's multiple people who are selling well. Like this top person, it only has 3.5 stars, but he's selling 7,400 per month, which is crazy. One concern I have about this product is it's probably fairly seasonal. So there's two ways you can check seasonality in the Chrome extension. I think I've already showed you guys that you can click on the sales and it'll show you how many sales this is made each month for as long as we've been tracking it. Alternatively, one method I haven't shown you yet is by clicking on the button on the bottom right called the Google Trends report. And this shows you how this product has been trending over the years on Google. This isn't quite as good of an indicator as the sales on Amazon, but I just wanted to show you one other way to do so. And when I look at this, I can clearly see that in the summer months, May, June, July, then it stops around August. The sales are very high, and it looks like there's probably like less than a quarter, probably in 1/7 or 1/8 of the number of sales in the winter time. So I think I'm gonna say I do not like this product due to the relatively high seasonality. What else are you tracking?
Sure, let's go over to my third tab here, and these, the reason I put these here is, once again, it's the sales, the number of sales that they're producing. But they're nothing sexy about them. It's bed slats.
Ooh. I agree, and I like this product for that reason. It's a little bit weird, strange, something that people don't really strive to sell or want to brag to their friends about selling. As a result, they're usually less competitive. Let's dig in and look. Right away, I'm going to look at the sales inside of the product tracker. And it looks like there's tons of sales. I'm looking at here, and wow, I mean, in the past few weeks, this thing has been selling a ton, like 60 units per day or more. So plenty of demand. Let's pull it up on Amazon and look to see what it looks like on there. Looks like we have plenty of bed slats. Let me pull up the Chrome extension. The overall demand is high. If I were to add up the collective sales out of the top 10 sellers, we're probably looking at close to 10,000 units per month. Again, that's a ton of demand. I look at the competition is also high, too high that it would scare me away. The number 9 seller looks like only has 5 reviews, but everyone else has hundreds, if not thousands of reviews. I do like how some of these are selling well with poor ratings. This third seller here, about 2,000 units per month with only 3-star average rating. However, from this particular one, the competition alone is gonna scare me away. What else are you tracking?
Awesome, okay, so I have this white noise maker. The reason I chose this product is because I kept seeing it come up. It's just a recurring product, different sellers, and I don't know, maybe there's something there.
Good thoughts on this one. Right away, I'm gonna nix this product because I don't like selling electronic products. I imagine this one showed up inside of the product database because I know these do sell well, even though they get poor reviews. But in my experience, trying to work with factories to improve these products that are primarily electronics products is difficult to do. And because of that, I'm gonna say, let's go ahead and look at the next product idea.
So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the lounge chair or beach chair. But I found this same thing. I kept seeing it being repeated over and over again. Thought there was something there.
Yeah, right away, I am hesitant that this one's probably gonna be seasonal. However, let's dive into it real quick and check. It looks like there's plenty of sales. As you know, we're of course towards the middle or almost end of summer now, so I'm sure beach chairs are selling very well, but let's go ahead and look at it. So I'm gonna type beach lounge chair and open up the Jungle Scout Chrome extension. Similar to what was shown in the product tracker, there are tons of sales, right? In the top 10, that probably looks close to 15,000 units per month or more, which again is a ton of demand. That's a ton of units being sold. Right away, I'm gonna jump over and look at the number of reviews to help me gauge competition. Number 3 seller only has 49. That's pretty good. However, a lot of these people have hundreds or again, if not thousands. The number 7 seller only has 34, which is better. I'm gonna jump over and look at the ratings since we are trying to improve upon this product. We're not scared away by only high reviews, but ideally we'd have something with a low number of reviews and poor quality reviews. It looks like the top seller and the number 4 seller only have 3.5 stars. The number 6 seller only has 3 stars. And again, these are all still selling well. So this would be an item that could be improved on. However, again, this one's pretty competitive. So let's go ahead and check real quick on the seasonality. Of course, if you have the Jungle Scout extension, all you have to do is click on the number of sales and it will show you how many units have been sold each month for as long as we've been tracking the item. But since this is the $1 million case study, I don't want to force you guys to have it. We'll look at the Google Trends data to help us gauge how well this has been selling. So I imagine these spikes right here, yep, looks to be true, or in the middle of summer. And then again, in the fall, winter, and springtime, these don't sell real well, Rolando. So I would recommend that we go on and see what other products you're tracking.
The next product I was tracking here is these stroller ride-alongs. I think they're a pretty interesting product. What do you think?
Yeah, they're pretty interesting. I don't think I've seen too many people selling something similar to this, so I like that right away. It's a little bit different, a little bit weird. The sales look decent, however, not as good as some of those other products we looked at. But let's, again, pull it up on Amazon and see what it looks like on Amazon. So I've pulled up stroller ride-along. It looks like these come in all different shapes and sizes. Let's go ahead and see what the Jungle Scout extension tells us. Right away, I see that sales are really strong for the top seller. Beyond that, the rest of the sales aren't distributed very well. The top seller is making about 1,600 units per month, and everyone else is only selling between 100, one person selling 600, but that's always a little bit of a red flag when the sales aren't distributed beyond the top seller. It makes me wonder why that seller is doing so well compared to everyone else. It is strange though that their rating is only 3.5 stars. So for this one, I'd say demand is decent. It's probably right at that 2,000 to 3,000 units per month, which is enough demand for me to be interested to go into a category. The competition doesn't look that strong. There's not that many reviews here. The top 2 sellers both get 3 or 3.5 star rating averages, which I find pretty interesting. So this actually is something, Rolando, that I would like to dive into a little bit deeper. I'm curious to know why the top seller is doing so much better than the rest. First things that come to my mind is thinking, I wonder if the top one is maybe an add-on to like the most popular stroller model, or if it's kind of universal. Maybe they just have the best listing. I don't know, but I'd say let's hold on to this product idea. I think this is a good potential idea. The price point is pretty high, which means for us, we can make a lot more money on each individual sale, but it's gonna take a little bit more startup capital. But that being said, this is probably my favorite one so far. However, I'm gonna have to dig in a lot deeper before I know whether or not this is a good potential idea or not. So let's go ahead and let's keep moving along the product tracker and see what else you're looking at.
Greg, awesome feedback. Let me go ahead and type in a note before I forget.
For those of you who don't know how to do this, if you have the product tracker, you just click on the little plus sign over here and type in whatever notes that you want to remember. After you typed your notes into the product tracker's product notes section, you'll see a little red dot appears above it. And that just reminds you that you do have a note in that section.
I got my notes, Greg. Let's go ahead and hop into my next product, which is this Patio Thermometer. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so right away, I see that sales are pretty strong. 15, 25, 8, 29, 15. This product definitely looks fairly simple, fairly lightweight and easy to ship. So I think it checks all those boxes. I doubt there's any liability issues associated with this, especially because they don't put mercury in thermometers anymore. But let's go ahead and look at it on Amazon and see what we find out there. After running the Chrome extension, I see it's at a good price point. Sales look strong, and I really like that they're distributed well throughout the different listings. The reviews are pretty competitive. There's quite a few reviews on these products. However, one thing that I do like and why I'm not totally scared away yet is there's also a lot that get rated poorly, even though they're selling well. And again, I'm sure this is why this product showed up in your product database search, Rolando. I see there's 3 sellers here selling 585, 360, and 643, which is 10 to 20 units per day, and they all have 3.5 ratings. So again, this product is pretty competitive. However, I do like that sellers are getting poor ratings, yet they're still selling well. Again, that's a great product to do customer-driven innovation on. So let's hold on to this one also. And so you don't forget, let's go ahead and add a few quick product tracker notes.
Let me go ahead and show you my next product, which is these bedside shelves. What do you think about that?
Yeah, this is a pretty cool product. I don't think I've ever seen these before. It looks like little shelves that clamp on the side of your table. The sales look strong. This guy only has 1 per day, but everyone else is selling well. Let me check out the graph here. It looks like, this unit, it might have been out of stock during these days. Let's look. Yep, they're actually out of stock those days. So the rest of these days, it's selling strong. Between about 7 and 8 before they went out of stock. Maybe their price was a little bit higher and they tried to slow it down. After they came back in stock, they're selling, average probably 10 to 15 units a day, which is really strong. Let's go ahead and check this out on Amazon real quick though, and let that help us make our decision. Right away when I look at this, I see that it's at a strong price point, about $28 to $50, which means there should be plenty of room for profit after Amazon's fees. The sales are very strong, a few thousand units combined, and I like how they're spread out well throughout the different sellers. The number of reviews, this is probably one of the lesser competitive niches that we looked at so far today. The number 3 seller and the number 6 through 10 seller all have 50 reviews or less, which is a positive sign. When I look at the ratings here, it looks like some of them are rated well. Some of the sellers are getting 4.5 or 5 stars. However, there's also some getting 3.5. And it looks like this one right here with only 3.5 star ratings, still selling about 280 units a month, which is still strong sales. And that gives me confidence we could probably improve upon this product and it do well. So Rolando, I think this product idea is good enough to make it into the next round.
Fantastic, fantastic. Let me go ahead and type down those notes. All right, notes are in and they're saved. I have 3 more products left for you. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the next one, which is these vinyl sheets.
Yeah, this is an interesting product. I guess these are the sheets that people use to cut out vinyl signs or lettering or whatever else. I've never actually seen this product show up before in the product database, which is a good sign. Looks like some of these are doing very well. This guy right here is selling 150 units a day. Wow, that's a lot. Other people with over 100. So let's go ahead and check this out on Amazon and see what it looks like there. Right away, I'm gonna look at the price point. Looks like it's a solid price point. Wow, a lot more sales than I was expecting. Multiple sellers with doing thousands of sales per month. There's probably 15,000 units of demand total in the top 10, which is pretty crazy. I look at the number of reviews and it's not super competitive. Top seller only has 26 reviews. Below that, there's another guy with 24, another person with 6, 47, 61. So not really that competitive. I do see there's multiple products that get a poor rating. Sellers number 2, 6, and 8, it looks like they all have 3.5 stars, which is a good sign for us. Some of those sellers are doing very well. It looks like all of them with 3.5 stars are selling between about 500 to 1,000 units a month, which again, that's great validation for us that if we make improvements to this product, that it could potentially do very, very well. One thing that scares me a little bit about this product is, to be honest, I've just never gotten a product similar to this manufactured. Most of the products that get manufactured or similar to the other products that we've already looked at, like a little shelf or whatever else. This to me is almost like getting a stack of paper or whatever else manufactured, just a little bit different. So right away, I'm a little bit scared of it, but I definitely do want to check Alibaba to see if there's manufacturers in China making these vinyl sheets. There probably are. It's just something that I don't really have much experience with. But overall, Rolando, I like this product idea. Good demand, not super competitive. I think there's plenty of room for improvement. So let's, again, add this one to our short list.
Cool. I'll make my notes while you talk about the next product idea I have, which is a tablecloth.
Cool. Yeah, remember we looked at these during the first episode. These are vinyl plastic table covers. Kind of interesting. They're those tablecloths that you use one time, you put them over the table and then typically throw them away when they're done. But let's check it out on Amazon and see what it looks like there. So search plastic table covers, go ahead and run the Jungle Scout Chrome extension. For this one, wow, again, the number of sales for this product is surprising me. It's likely a little bit seasonal. Right away, I'm a little bit scared off by the price. Most of these, like this one's only $4.90. There's no way I can compete with that. There's other ones selling for $15 or $16, a little bit lower than I like. There's one selling for $18, which is a little bit better, and they're still selling 834 units per month. So I'd say overall here, the demand is high. The competition is, I'd say, medium to medium low. Some of these guys are doing pretty well with only 4.9 reviews. It looks like there's one that gets bad ratings. However, that's the one for $4.90. So I imagine most people are like, well, for only $5, I don't really care about the quality. So I'd say with this particular product, I'm willing to look into it a little bit more, but what I'm hesitant about is the overall seasonality. The low price, I would have to be thinking about, well, what could I do to charge a higher price? And then see if the ones that are priced higher, if there's much room for improvement or if they're already pretty solid products. So Rolando, I think we have one product left. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one.
I think I saved the best for last. This is my personal favorite, so I'd like to get your take on it, and it's the keyboard tray. This is interesting because it falls in that weird category because it is a clamp-on keyboard tray, so it's not just a bolt-on or screw-on keyboard tray. What do you think?
Yeah, interesting. I don't know if I've ever actually seen one of these before. It looks like the sales inside of the product tracker are solid. Let me go ahead and pull it up on Amazon real quick and look at it there. All right, right away, I see it's at a pretty good price point. The minimal price point there is about $24 and it goes up to $50, $80, or even over $100. The sales look pretty solid. In the top 10, looks like there's roughly 3,000 units per month, maybe more. The number of reviews are low. I'd say this one is low competition. 50 reviews, 7, 19, 5. So plenty of sellers that don't have many reviews, which signifies to me it's a pretty young or immature niche, something that's easier to enter. It looks like there are a few sellers with bad reviews. Their products aren't selling quite as well. When I look down here, this guy only has 3 out of 5 stars, 3.5 out of 5. They're only doing about 70 to 90 units per month. However, there are plenty that only get 4 out of 5 stars, which of course is room for improvement, that are doing much better. And it looks like actually the top seller only gets 4-star reviews. That one is lesser expensive. However, there are actually some other sellers that are selling 300 to 400 units per month that only get 4 stars. So Rolando, overall, I like this product idea. I do wish there were a few more sales. However, I think it does sell well enough for us to go into it. I like how it's not very competitive. And I also like how there are room for improvements for this particular product. Of course, I haven't dug in yet to see what kind of improvements people want to make, but I think I do agree with you. I think you did save the best opportunity for last.
Fantastic. So I'll make sure to make my notes on that as well. All right, Greg, thank you for that advice. Now that I've taken that into consideration, I've narrowed down my product research to the top 5 categories. But where do I go from here? What's the next step?
Yeah, good question, Rolando. So the next step from here, of course, You have 5 good potential product ideas here, but we want to dig a little bit deeper into each of these individual things. I'm happy to see that you're already tracking products in each of these individual product opportunity categories. However, I would recommend adding some more to your product tracker. You can then view the sales on a day-to-day basis. And what this does is it removes any artificial inflations due to them running a promotion or anything else along those lines. I'd also recommend that you take good product notes inside of the product tracker. So again, click that little plus button. Add whatever notes come to mind, because this is a great place to keep all of those different notes organized. When we looked at that one product idea, the stroller ride along, if you remember, the top seller is doing much better than the rest, and this concerned me a little bit. So let's go ahead and dive into that a little bit deeper and see if we can figure out why that is. So you'll see here, the top seller, 1,600 sales per month, where the rest are 50 to 100 to 200. So let's look at that particular listing and see what the deal is. The first things that pop to my mind would be that this stroller ride along is either a brand that people are very familiar with, maybe it only fits a certain type of stroller and this is a very popular type of stroller, maybe they have a certain patent that makes theirs much better than the rest. So these are all the types of things I want to look at real quick while I dig in deeper. It is pretty crazy to see this is the top selling item and it only gets 3.4 out of 5 stars. It looks like it's compatible with a few different types of strollers. I'm not sure yet whether those are all made by the same brand or not, but I can easily look that up. So just at first glance here, it is kind of difficult to figure out exactly why this particular one is doing so much better than the rest. What I want to do is, this is the brand right here, Baby Jogger. I can see that same thing right here, Baby Jogger. I'm just going to search for stroller on Amazon. Run the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, see what the best sellers in this particular category are. I'm looking for that particular brand, Baby Jogger, and it's actually not even on the first page for extensions. Now what comes to mind is they maybe just market their ride along or stroller board or whatever you want to call it a little bit better than the rest of these companies. The next thing I would want to do, since I don't quite know yet, is I'm probably going to start digging into the reviews and see why people rave about this, and that might give me a little more insight to see why this one's doing much better than the rest. At first glance from the reviews, I don't see anything that jumps out to me why people are purchasing this product instead of the rest. And a quick way, although hardly exhaustive, to check to see if something's patented is just to search for patent on that particular page. Of course, this is just a quick way. Sometimes people list it as patented, and that's a quick gimme to know that it is patented. However, it doesn't look like on this particular page they advertise them having a patent if they do. Of course, that's not an exhaustive patent search by any means. I now feel a little bit better about this particular product and this particular listing hogging most of the sales. I don't see any glaring issues why they're selling much more than the rest. However, I would want to just do a little more research around the web to see what it is about this particular brand that maybe people like. It may simply be that it's a decent product offered at a decent price compared to some of the other ones. The number 2 seller, they only have 3 out of 5 stars, so the top one's better than that. But for this particular product, I think it stays in the running for now for one of our potential $1 million case study season 4 products. Wait a second, guys. Is this even clear? Do you know what I'm talking about? Drop your questions for me in the comment section below and I'll come back and answer them for you. So Rolando, I think what your question was is where do I go from here to narrow down my product ideas to pick the one? I think there's 2 main things left to consider on how to narrow down your product ideas to find the one. The first one is going to be profit margins. And unfortunately, we're not going to know our true profit margins until after we speak with the factories and start to get price quotes. In order to get price quotes from the factories, we're going to need to know what type of improvements we want to make on each of these products. So, as we discussed earlier, step 3 and step 4 is to dive in, find out what people don't like about these products and what we can do to make our product that we're selling the best one on Amazon. Since we're on the topic of baby strollers, I'll go ahead and use this one as an example. And the absolute best place to find what customers don't like about products or what they want improved on them is the poor customer reviews. Now, I love this because just like a decade ago, big companies were spending tens or maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars to do customer research to figure out what they can do to improve upon their products. Now, anyone can do it for free. Just go to Amazon and read the bad reviews. So I clicked on the number of reviews. I'm going to start with the 1-star reviews and work my way up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read through each of these reviews and find things I could do to improve this particular product. Now, I'm not gonna read through all these on camera right now because it starts to get a little bit boring for you guys. What you'll find is there's typically recurring themes for the negative customer reviews. At first glance, I see not made for City Mini GT. So that's something that just has to do with the advertising of this particular product. Oh, bam, right away again, not made for the City Mini GT. Continue to scroll down. I wouldn't recommend if you're using with the City Mini. So just right away within 5 seconds, I spotted a few things there, and it's obvious that they need to do a better job being clear on what strollers this works for and what strollers this doesn't work for. Oftentimes, this is the easiest kind of customer-driven innovation to do, because sometimes if you find a product like this, you may not even have to make changes or improvements to the product, but it could just be with the packaging and marketing associated with it. So Rolando, this is what I would recommend for you. I'd recommend to read through the customer reviews for each of these potential product ideas, start to note down the common themes of what people are complaining about them, and I would recommend to keep these notes inside of your product tracker associated with each of those individual products. Next week, what we can do is we can read through those together. We can figure out which types of these improvements would be easy for you to make and which ones would probably be more difficult. We can then put that together in a package to start getting quotes from factories so we can figure out what the profit margins would be associated with each of these products. One other tip I'm gonna give you, Rolando, is there's no need to stop your product research now. You know, you do have 5 good product ideas, but between today and next week, if you have some more time, you could do some more product research because you can never have too many product ideas. Oftentimes when I see people settle on a less than great product, it's because they only spent an hour or 2 hours doing product research. And this is really the make it or break it point with your Amazon business. All right, guys, well, that wraps up the content for today's episode. I was just thinking, if I was in your shoes, I might be starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed with all the information I'm taking in. Just know that we're here to help you guys. Every Thursday, we have a live AMA where I'll be answering all of you guys' questions. Also know this is a very typical feeling, especially early on in your entrepreneurial journey. And just know that everyday average people are making this work all the time. There's no special skill sets needed, and we're gonna be walking you through bite-sized chunk of education at a time. So don't get overwhelmed, and no need to try to fast forward into information that is not relevant yet. Stay focused on the product research for now. There's still a lot more to learn, but you don't need to know about that until a later date. In between choosing your product and ordering it from the factory, there's gonna be a nice down period while the factory is making your goods, and this is gonna be the perfect opportunity for us to take care of a lot of the other things that are required in this business. I can already imagine the comment section is like, wait, you haven't talked about setting up a company yet, or choosing my brand name, or blah, 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 blah. And the truth of the matter is none of that stuff is important yet. The most important thing to do right now is to find our product opportunity and to get it from the factory. Then we'll have plenty of time to take care of all the rest of that stuff while the factory is making our goods, all right? Stay tuned.
Wait, Greg, you don't want to forget about the Amazon Seller Seed Fund and the amazing swag that we're going to be giving away. Every time that you participate and you use the hashtags MDCS Challenge or the hashtag Freedom Builders, while posting a picture in our group, our Facebook group, or on Instagram, you will qualify for an entry in the Amazon Seller Fund. The more entries, the more opportunities for you to win up to $2,500. In addition to that, every Ask Me Anything session, we will be giving away Jungle Scout swag for showing up. Definitely, you do not want to miss out, and we'll see you there.
Thanks, Rolando. I almost did forget about that. I've enjoyed it. Guys, make sure to subscribe if you want to be notified of all of the upcoming $1 Million Case Study videos, and I'll see you next time. Adios.
Take care, guys.